Hey everybody, Kibu here. Hope you're all doing well. Today I'm going to go over my Infinity Spearzon. There's actually quite a few ways you could build this. This is my magic finding variant because I like to magic find for grail items. So let me show you what I'm rocking with here. The weapon is going to be an Infinity. You can either use this in a matriarchal spear with a +3 to jab skills, or you can use this on a man catcher, a regular man catcher, not ethereal, and both are going to do similar DPS. This will hit more for more damage per hit, and the man catcher will hit faster, so you can choose what you want. For my gloves, these aren't actually what I want, but they're the best I could find so far. You're going to want a nice pair of 220s here, particularly with res would be good. Maybe some mana leech would be nice. But whatever you can get your hands on, it's pretty flexible. You could also use chances if you want to go that route for more MF. I'm using one Ravenfrost ring for Cannot Be Frozen. Nosferatu's Coil for that 10 IAS, and I do need that 10 IAS to reach a breakpoint, so it's pretty important. And the mana after kill is nice, and the lifesteal, of course, is pretty great. I'm using Enigma for a lot of reasons. Teleport, MF, strength, damage reduction, pretty much, you know, it's Enigma. I'm using Crown of Ages. That's because I can stack two 15 IAS jewels in here with resistance on here. So this build actually struggles with res quite a bit. Had to get creative in how to get it all. But I have one 15 IAS cold res jewel and one 15 IAS poison res jewel in here. And it helps quite a bit with my resistances. Not only that, but it gives me a little bit of damage reduction, which this build kind of lacks. The only damage reduction it has was from the Enigma, so this puts it at 20%, so it helps make it a bit tankier. And that 30% attack speed helps me reach that breakpoint. Alternatively, you can use an Andy's Helm. That works quite well. I don't reach the same IES breakpoint because I can only get 20 IES from that. You can also use Griffins if you just want to hit harder with your lightning abilities, but I found this to be my favorite option because it kind of ticks a lot of boxes. And the FHR is quite nice too, because this build lacks FHR. So that's why I went with Crown of Ages. High Lord's Wrath Amulet. You can also go with Mara's if you want, or some sort of 2 to skills AME. It's a little bit flexible, but the IAS on this thing is quite nice. Not to mention the lightning res. Pretty needed. Boots. Best in slot's gonna be some tri-res boots. I got dual res for the 2 in particular that I'm missing, and it has some MF and faster unlock on there, so pretty good. It also has 69 ED, so nice. On my Switch, got a Call to Arms. Not the best one, but it'll do the job. And a Spirit. Nothing crazy there. My inventory isn't complete yet, but it's mostly Magic Find charms. Since this build does lack res, you're going to want some Magic Find with res on it. Like here's a 5 with 10 cold res. Here's one with... I do have a few just resistance, poison, lightning. 7/100. Just what I can get my hands on. 5/11. I have a... thought I had a lightning one in here too. Well, 5/8 poison. So yeah, it's... oh, here's a 7/11 lightning. So that's kind of what I'm going for. Geeds. This is a passive in Magic with 12 FHR, not required. I just happen to find it, so I'm using it. But eventually, I'll replace it with more MF res charms. Fire, an Annie, and a torch, of course. So you'll see with this build, with all this, my res is looking okay. My damage reduction's okay. Fire res looks bad, but it's 0. To deal with that, my mercenary is using Flickering Flame. So this casts me at 75 fire res because the resist fire aura, so that's nice. He's also using an insight. This build is very mana hungry, so without this insight you run out real quick. If you don't want to use insight, I would recommend putting some mana per kill gems in whatever your gear is, and that can also help. And he's using Chains of Honor. That's because it's the only decent armor that has lifesteal, and there's no lifesteal on Insight or Flickering Flame. So Chains of Honor gets the job done. He does not die very often. He's more of an aura bot than anything, because this build will absolutely smash everything DPS-wise. He just needs that Insight and resist fire auras. So that's why I got him. Some other alternatives are mercenaries. If you do stack some more mana per kill and mana leech, Oh, also I forgot my BK ring. I'm using that for the extra skills life. It's pretty decent. There's some yellow rings you could use as well. It's a little bit flexible. Some other mercenary options, you could go with an Act 1 Fanaticism Merc, and that would be pretty good. You could go with Act 5 Plagues and Last Wish if you want, if you're really loaded. And so there's a lot of different mercs you can use, but this feels like the best to me, quality of life wise. It's pretty rough without the insight. I chose Holy Freeze for a little bit more survivability. You can use Might if you want a little bit more life steal, but the physical damage is really not as much compared to your lightning. So you could see, oh, it took my skills off. I used Charge Strike and Lightning Strike. You can see the Lightning Strike does 960 to 1.4 physical and 1 to 5k lightning, and then Charge Strike does 1 to 6.3 lightning in the same physical. So the way this works, if you don't know, with Charge Strike, you hit, the lightning damage will hit every time, but the physical damage will only hit, it's based off of your normal attack rating. So you're not getting a ton of life in mana steal here. That's why the mana after kill is quite nice. But even without that, this is a pretty tanky build, and that's partially because of the skills here. So let me go over the skills. As far as the jab and spear skills, you're going to max, of course, Power Strike, Charge Strike, Lightning, and Lightning Bolt, because there are synergies for Lightning and Charge Strike. And then for passive, you're going to put 1 into these 3, and these are actually quite nice. That as of the new patch, they don't like lock your character, so you dodge a lot. It makes you much tankier. You pretty much have a 50% chance to avoid any attacks, so it's quite nice. 1 point in here, and then I put the remainder of my points in Penetrate. That attack rating helps hit more with the physical portion, which increases lifesteal, makes you a little tankier, so pretty good. My points are basically just enough strength and dex to equip my gear, and the remainder in vitality, so nothing crazy there. So let me kind of show you, this is also, I guess I should mention, as you probably realize, it's not a budget build by any means, but you could probably make this work on a budget. Like if you get maybe an Obedience or something, a less expensive weapon, you won't be able to farm everything, but I'm sure you can get by. And you don't need Enigma, you could use some other options. If you use Chains of Honor instead of Enigma, your res issues will no longer be there, and you'll open up a lot more gear options. But since this is, I'm a Grail Hunter primarily, I kind of try to get as much MF as possible, so that's why I went this route. So let me show you a little how this guy operates. My favorite zones to kill on this guy is Chaos and Bale, because he kills real fast, and these are pretty nice zones. So I'll just shout. I'll teleport with my Call to Arms out, just because it's a little faster, so you can skip River if you want, you don't have to. And swap. You'll use one or two lightning strikes just to get those chain lightnings out. It bounces 36 times, so you don't have to spam it, just a few times. And then you're going to want to use Charge Strike. Charge Strike really just kills everything in one hit for the most part. This is Players 1. I'm playing on Battle.net, so I can't raise it to P8. But I can play this guy on P8, and you'll hardly notice a difference in clear speed. Everything just gets destroyed. I will almost 1 or 2 shot every minion here. No problems. And if they're lightning immune, then I use jab. So my jab isn't crazy, but it is good enough to kill most things. You can see the jab here does up to 1300-ish, and it hits multiple times, so it's not bad. So let me go kill some more things, and you can see I'm pretty tanky. I'm not really worried about dying. I can pretty much go where I want. You can also do cows. You can destroy some cows really easily, but none of my grail items can really draw from cows anymore, outside of like 1 or 2 of them, so I don't go there very often anymore. The nice part about having the Infinity self-wielded is you get the full benefit of the minus enemy lightning res. So this, mine didn't roll perfectly, minus 48, could have been better, but still pretty good. Oh, lightning immunes, a lot of lightning immunes this time. but that doesn't apply to your attacks if it's on your mercenary, so this is quite nice. One annoying thing, as you can already kind of see, the weapon up here in the top right turned yellow. It does break pretty fast. It's a little annoying. You have to repair it like every other match. I forgot to repair it before I started. I could probably finish the chaos run, no problem, but be sure to repair it after your runs, or just hold on to ort runes. Man, everyone's lightning immune in here. But you can see if they're lightning immune, I can still kill them. It's slower, but I can kill the lightning immunes. You don't usually run into this many, but yeah, they can be here. With a few gear changes, this guy could do Ubers too. He's an extremely fast boss killer, but you don't want to use this setup for them. You want to swap some things, probably use Chains of Honor, get your Fade proc, stuff like that. Another lightning immune, wow. This is not great for my little showcase here. And half the minions in here are lightning immune. And that's through infinity too. Okay. Pop that, pop that. Easy peasy. And then we can go kill Diablo. It usually takes somewhere between 2 to 3 hits to kill Diablo. So you can kind of see pretty fast kills here. 1, 2. There you go. Super nice and quick. This guy can farm Worldstone Keep really easily. The souls aren't really an issue because you dodge like half the lightning attacks anyway, so you're usually just fine. The only place I don't really like to farm is Stony Tombs because there's a lot of lightning immune skeletons. It's just kind of annoying. But you could farm Trav too. I could do a quick Trav run. It's no problem. You do have to be careful that your mercenary doesn't die, because if your mercenary dies, you do lose all your fire res. You see I'm at 75, but if he dies it goes down to 0, so you don't want that to happen. But he kills so fast, she kills so fast, that it doesn't really matter. He usually doesn't die. So yeah, pretty easy, pretty tanky, pretty fun build. So if you don't care about Magic Vine, you can definitely optimize this for more damage. But I guess I should show you. I'm at 300 MF on this build, and I still do some pretty insane damage, so it's pretty powerful. And it has Crushing Blow too, on top of all that. So yeah, that is my Spearzon. If you have any questions, feel free to let me know. If you enjoy the content, feel free to like and subscribe. Have a good one. Catch y'all later.